Heidi, let's start with you, just because you are a Democrat, but you're somebody who, when it comes to energy, probably aligns more with Republicans from time to time. You've seen some of the policies that have happened here. What will change if the Republicans take over the House, as is widely anticipated? Senate could also happen.
Yeah, I'd love to tell you that the policies will change and that we'll get certainty in energy policy. One thing we know that will change will be the dialogue. There will be a louder voice for, I think, more certainty in policy. But if we continue to play the blame game on policy instead of addressing climate, but also addressing our energy needs and the needs for low-cost energy and how do we get there? And as I tell my friends on the left, get in the reality pool on what this country needs in terms of energy, what's realistic in terms of climate, and how we can achieve these goals together. Now, wouldn't that be a wonderful world if we all lived there? But I think you're going to hear a lot of rhetoric on both sides. I'm interested, I think, on what's going to happen in the lame duck in terms of permitting reform, because I think that's a critical piece of legislation that needs to pass, and I hope they can get it together to do it.
Carlos, if the Republicans take both chambers, do you think that there will be a drastically different approach when it comes to energy policy?
Years of climate policy history in the U.S. Congress, it's actually remarkably bipartisan. Before the so-called Inflation Reduction Act, all of the major climate wins had been done in a bipartisan manner. There was Murkowski-Manchin back in 2020. The bipartisan infrastructure bill did include some significant climate provisions. That even got Mitch McConnell's vote. And Republicans and Democrats recently worked together to amend the Montreal Protocol in a way that environmentalists celebrated. Also, they worked together to phase down hydrofluorocarbons. So I actually think that with divided government, we might have more cooperation to reduce energy prices, increase energy security in our country for Americans, and also to reduce pollution. So I'm a little more hopeful than most.
What happened? I mean, you think it's simply divided government that makes people work together, and when you have everything going your way, you don't take time to talk to the other side or to do things that might be a bipartisan nature, Carlos?
That's exactly right. I mean, look at what happened last time Republicans had unified control of the government. They worked on their own to reform the tax code of the United States. Democrats, with united government the last couple years, pursued the most ambitious liberal agenda in a generation by a Democratic Congress. So when the Congress is divided, people keep their feet on the ground. They tend to focus on what's possible. And I think when it comes to energy and climate policy, that's a very good thing, because we want these policies to be durable. The policies that are passed with bipartisan support tend to have staying power. Those that are passed by one party usually get done away, or at least the other party tries to do away with them when they come to power.
Heidi, the idea of bipartisanship sounds great. I'm just trying to think how that might work, though. Things seem so tribalistic at this point. If the Republicans were to take both chambers and then put something together, would they put something together that the president would sign, or would they put something together that they would like, knowing he would not sign it, and then they could campaign on that? I mean, it's just, it's hard to think of things getting passed, or if this is total gridlock.
When you look at when bipartisanship can happen, it happens in the first 2 years of a president's term. The next 2 years, we're going to be myopically politically focused on who's going to be the next president of the United States. I think that puts a little kink in Carlos's, and a great friend of mine, in his argument that what we're going to see is a lot of rhetoric on permitting reform, amending NEPA, the National Environmental Policy Act. There's going to be a ton of pro-fossil rhetoric, which is going to be met with a ton of anti-fossil rhetoric on the other side. And that's highly unfortunate, because we all know that fossils have to be, especially natural gas, have to be part of this future. And so I think it's going to require leadership. Who's going to step up on the Republican side and kind of lead that bipartisan effort? Everything that I see and the rhetoric that I see tells us that we're once again going to forego policy for politics. And that's just bad for the American consumer. It's bad for American business. And it's just plain up bad business.